Hey everybody, I'm back. My name is Chris, and this is my audio obsession. So it's been a little while since I've done a video. I've been ridiculously busy the past few weeks, mainly like just family stuff going on. I got kids' graduation, stuff like that, all kinds of stuff going on. And actually, you probably noticed this isn't the same room that I normally do videos in. I actually moved both my two boys from their room, which was here, down into the basement, the dungeon area, which was where I had my guitar / record room, and that's where I was doing my videos. But now I've moved them into the basement. They're down there playing video games all day long anyway, so they might as well just stay down there. And now I get their room. It's smaller, a little more cramped than what I'm used to, and it's a lot hotter than the basement, but whatever, this is my new room, and so this is where my new videos are going to be coming from. Anyways, to start off, if you can hear the music in the background, a little mellow, but it does kind of break in with some heaviness. You can see that, the morning side. So if you so take a look at this cover, and for anybody, like say my friends out there that are like the death metal fans, whatever, they're gonna look at that if they don't know this album and they're just gonna pass over it, right? Not even think twice about it, which I actually did when it came out. And I can't remember how it was I came about it. I believe somebody mentioned them on YouTube and described who they were, and I just thought, okay, well, I'll check it out. And this was, what is this, 2016 release. The album is called Yellow, and it was the first album that I had heard from them. They had had a couple previous to this, and absolutely blown away, completely blown away. So these guys are like a progressive melodic death, almost post melodic death metal, black metal, shoegaze. It's kind of like a big culmination of a bunch of things. One thing it is not is lacking in talent. It is absolutely crazy, this album. So if you picture, my best description would be if we had, say, Paradise Lost have a baby with Agalloch to make an album, and then bring in Carcass vocals. On top of that, there's some clean melodic singing vocals too, but it's just that whole kind of mishmash of stuff together just creates, like, the melodies, you're listening going, oh, this is Agalloch, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, that's a Paradise Lost riff. And anyways, just absolutely incredible. So the cover didn't drive me or bring me in, but the music sure as hell did. And now I have all their albums, and it's just a great listen. So if you come across it, pick it up. So I'm sure somebody that's watching who is in a band that I just purchased from is probably noticing something, my attire. And don't mind the creaky floors. These wood floors are creaky as all hell. And let's see if we can go up here. Some of you will probably recognize that cover. So recently I put in an order for Liam's band from the Death Doom Metalhead, his band, Consecration. This would be Fragilium. This was their 2019 release. This is a fantastic CD. So I had heard on, especially when I found out about, Liam, he was kind of the one person that sparked me to venture out to a couple other video makers, Mark G with a C, a handful of others, Metal Miners. And then from there, that's when I decided, you know what, I want to give this a try. So it kind of started with the Death Doom Metalhead and his videos. And then shortly after just watching his videos, I found out, oh, he's in a band, so I want to check it out. So I checked out their older tunes and I thought, oh wow, this is fantastic. This is right up my alley. So I ended up finally, I know it took a while, but I finally ordered this so I could have my hands on it. And I'm really glad I did. And it's great because I know they've got another album coming out that's in the works, and I really can't wait to hear what that's going to sound like, because the progression from where the band started up until this point is definitely, they're growing on each album. Huge. But what I noticed with this album in particular, it reminded me, okay, so like last one I talked about Enchantment and how I thought they were, you know, in the forefront. They weren't just, you know, a band that started up after other bands started the scene. I felt that they kind of were part of the scene driving it forward. And it was that 90s sound of the melodic death doom style. Listening to this album, it actually brings me back to the 90s. There is a huge nod to the early 90s bands of this style and genre. It's hard to describe. Like, so now when you're listening to bands in this genre, there's the recipes. This, okay, guitar has to sound like this, you know, your bass, your drums are this specific beat, and, you know, try to stay within the box type thing, which a lot of bands are following or whatever. But in the 90s, it was kind of like, well, this is like a new genre that's coming up. So there really wasn't a formula. It was actually being born in the 90s, like from, say, the late 80s into the 90s. And this album actually reminds me of that sound. So when I'm listening to the drummer, I'm not picturing a current death doom drummer. I'm actually hearing influences of like his background came from a different style, like just from rock or something of a rock genre, because there's a groove to it, and it's not just a thunderous, you know, plodding along drum. There's actually a bit of a hop to it. It's hard for me to describe. I'm not a drummer, but I think you kind of get what I mean. It's just not the traditional, just straightforward. There's a little bit of that 90s spice to it. That's how I describe it anyways. But what came with this CD, of course I got, you know, the full package deal. We got a cool Consecration patch, which I'd like to put on my motorcycle vest, hopefully. And we've got the signed postcard of the band, which is really cool. So that right there is the image of a death doom band right there. And unfortunately, the postman was a little bit overzealous with my packaging. Kind of crunched my sticker on me, but for the most part, everything came perfectly fine, so I'm not bitching about it. It's a sticker, so whatever. Everything else is perfectly fine. And we got another couple other postcards, artwork of the album. Really cool. Got another one. I like this one. This is really cool too. Really cool piece of art. And if you happen to see me looking down, I'm finally doing notes. I've tried to do notes, and every single time I do videos, I don't even look at them. And then after I'm done the video, I watch it back and I'm going, shit, I forgot to add that. And I forgot to say this. So I don't want to miss stuff. So the album, the way it comes out, it's not like one of those albums where it just kind of catches you with your pants down and just comes boom, just straight out of the gate. So there's, the first song's an instrumental, and it's really cool how it just kind of subtly comes up and just kind of brings you in. This isn't a listen where you put on and you've got your friends yipping in the background and, you know, you're talking with people. For me, I'm notorious where if I'm listening to something and I'm like, you know, focused, it drives me absolutely insane if somebody is just yipping in my ear. I can't stand that. I've got this anxiety thing when I'm listening to my tunes. Don't bug me. And this is like the type of album that I would do that with, because I want to hear it from start to finish. Let me look down here. So, okay. So an Elegy for the Departed, that one particular stood out to me with, what was it? Let me see. 5 minutes and 40 seconds in, all of a sudden, to me, it just sparked the quintessential Death Doom melodic sound, and mixed with coming out of the 90s. And that drew me in. It's almost something reminding me of like an early My Dying Bride or whatnot. But that right there is like, that's what Death Doom, melodic Death Doom, is supposed to sound like. So, geez, it even has, so I don't know if some people would agree with me, but when we get down to the song Welcome the Grey, me personally, like, I'm into Doom, the traditional Doom, but also the sludge and stoner kind of Doom area as well. And to me, that song totally had a stoner Doom riff, where it just starts off and you're just thinking, oh yeah, a wall of friggin' guitars is gonna come out when this thing just lets loose. And absolutely fantastic. I can't say enough good things about this album. The leads even, I've noticed, once again, it had that 90s feel to it. Almost it had a rock background to it, where you've got, the wah in there and just the melodies. It wasn't like a straightforward metal type lead. It had this rock flavor to it. So, like I said, I can't say enough good things about this. Liam, you guys in the band, you did a fantastic job. And I really cannot wait to hear the next one. So, from there, we are going to go on to some records that I have. This one actually just came in yesterday. Unfortunately, it came in damaged. I just got a hold of the band today, and they're like, nope, we're sending you another one right away. Monday it is going out, and I couldn't be more happier. Like, these guys are fantastic. So I've been a fan of these guys since their first demo, actually. Their very first demo I caught wind of online. I was really heavily getting into like the stoner rock and really starting to get back into collecting, and at the time it was stoner rock that I was heavily into wanting to collect, especially in the vinyl section. But I came across this band who had their demo out, and right away I absolutely loved it. So it's a departure away from death metal. I guess they'd be classified under the stoner rock, psychedelic blues type sound. And that would be King Buffalo, and this is their newest album. Check out that artwork. Isn't that absolutely incredible? Right away, this is now one of my favorite album covers, aside from Bell Witch's Mirror Reaper. This, absolutely, I can't get enough of that. That is just such a fantastic cover. So it was just released this year, recently actually, The Burden of Restlessness. So I kind of see these guys, from their progression from, say, their first demo up until now, to me, like, they've got that psych blues, that fuzz sound. It's melodic. They've got this kind of laid-back feel to it. But this album here, I've noticed, so it was written during the pandemic, and it's got this frustration sound to it. Like, there's anger involved in this. So they've had this kind of like subtle movement of just flowing songs, and now we're getting into this album, and it's almost as if they've got some pent-up anger that they're now trying to get out. and it just comes across fantastic. The writing on this album, the musicality is just incredible. Just the soundscapes that they're creating, and just little bits and pieces like the song Locusts, just the effects, the synthesizer type effect they've got to give it this locust sound. And I know it's just minor things, but it's just they're really smart in writing this album. And what I've noticed, a huge departure, like I've always kind of considered them more of like the new age type Pink Floyd-ish. Not sounding like Pink Floyd, but that kind of idea of that type of progressive bluesy psych stuff. But this album here, I noticed huge nods to like Tool, to like mid-era Tool songs, actually even comparable to their new album. It just surprised me. I really wasn't expecting that from this band, and whether that was like intended or not, or maybe I'm just the only one who sees this, I don't know. But that, to my ears, that's what I was picking out. So yeah, I don't know. These guys, they're from Rochester, New York, so really they're not that far away from the border from me. And it came on this limited edition, and I'm hoping that's the replacement that's coming, because I got it specifically for this edition. But this really cool kind of blue swirly type, whatever you want to call it. Really cool color. So hoping to get that taken care of soon, within a couple days. Hopefully the postman will be gentle with this next one coming in. But yeah, this album, it was written, during the pandemic, and I'd like to think that that's got something to do with it, because you know what? Every single playing band out there has suffered huge from this. And some of these bands, this was their livelihood. Like, this is what you do to pay the rent. So I can't even wrap my head around what some of these people had to actually go through. Especially because, I don't know about where you are, but the government hasn't been much help where I am. They're throwing money everywhere, but it's... they pissed everything away. But either way, that's for a totally different channel, not mine. Anyway, so on to that. We're going to stick with the same type of theme, and then we'll be back into some death metal stuff. So this next one, I pre-ordered this thing a while ago. I can't even remember, like a long time ago, back in the fall. And this guy's is Juanastone, I don't know how the hell ever you say it. It's got kind of this 3D looking type cover. I had 3D glasses, I gave it a try, it don't work. It just looks like it's 3D. So, these guys are from Sweden. And so if anybody out there watching knows of the stoner rock band Lowrider, they came out with like an absolute cult classic, Ode to Io, which was like a staple for that genre of music. And this album, so they've been described as like a like a blues rock 70s nod with a bit of grunge. I'm not really a huge grunge fan, and I don't really see it, but whatever. But I would actually say that this album has a huge nod to Lowrider and the sound that Lowrider, I think, perfected that sound. And if you haven't heard the band, check them out. They've fantastic riffing, huge fuzz sound, just absolutely amazing. But these guys have that kind of really big nod towards Lowrider. Absolutely. Even, it almost has this Queens of the Stone Age feel to it, but before they went all like weird and shit, like where you're trying to listen to riffs and it's almost sounding like it's coming out of a weird broken music box. Some of those later albums really freaking lost me. But like up until the point of like, say, songs for the deaf. That's where I would kind of lean towards, I guess. So this would be a picture of the band here. And of course, thankfully, I actually got this straight from the band, which makes it even better for me rather than going through the label. And let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So this one, it's kind of like, I guess there's a bit of a different color in there. It's like a milky clear type color, something like that in there. Just a little subtle difference. But really cool. If you're into, you know, like the blues stoner rock type sound, hooky vocals, you know, really cool riffs, you'd definitely like this. And then we are gonna move on to some death metal. Wow, actually this one's pretty progressive death metal. So I was recently watching Metal Miners episode, and there was mention of the latest Horrendous release. And it got me thinking, oh yeah, I've only got one release, which would be this one. And it's an amazing release. And I'm sure everybody who's watching this knows this album. It's an incredible album. And it's Ekdussis is the album. Whoops, I'm moving around here all over the place. What a fantastic, I absolutely love this cover art. Fantastic. Incredible. So these guys, if you don't know, they are in the HM2 sound category for guitar riffing and sound, buzzsaw sound, if you will. It's, oh man, they've got, so it's not just like a Swedish death metal nod. So they've got like, and of course this is an American band, but it doesn't sound like the Swedish death metal. It's only got the HM2 sound, but it's a very progressive death metal sound. It's like vocal wise, you'll get some Van Drunen type vocals, and then all of a sudden it'll mix it up with, like, say, early Chuck Schuldiner from, say, Scream Bloody Gore Death album. And it kind of goes back and forth, so it's not just, say, one vocal style, which is really cool. It keeps, you know, keeps spicing things up a bit. Melodic and just, oh my god, well written. Absolutely fantastic, well written. So if you have heard on this album, let's move to Weeping Relic. Man, oh man, the lead on Weeping Relic has to be one of my favorites. Incredible freaking lead. It's not like over the top fretboard masturbation type, but it is so precise and melodic. It just checks off all the right check marks for me for a melodic solo. Just absolutely incredible. There's an acoustic tune on here, which would be the Vermilion, track 5 on here. Really cool, well done. I really enjoyed this acoustic bit because in the beginning there's a use of harmonics in there, and it just, the first time I heard it I had to go back and listen to it again. I'm going, wow, that was really clever. Like, really clever written acoustic passage with a bunch of harmonics in there. And if for some reason you don't know what I mean, then just check out that song. I'm sure you can see it on YouTube or whatever, but you'll get what I mean. Just absolutely fantastic. The tune, where is it? This is track 8, When the Walls Fell. That almost takes another turn, and it's like an instrumental, and it's like a huge nod to like earlier traditional heavy metal. It's got that, you know, the fist pumping, driving heavy metal tune sound to it, and it's like, man, these guys are like, they're kind of all over the place, but, you know, still grounded within, you know, one album here, and they're making, you know, some incredible freaking tunes. I still have to check out the new one. I'll be honest, I haven't got to it yet, and it was when I saw Anthony on the Metal Miners posting about it, I thought, oh, Shit. Okay, yeah, I gotta get onto that sometime soon. Because, I mean, this album here was fantastic. I can only imagine how much better the newest release is. And if I remember correctly, Fenriz from Darkthrone, he put this on his albums of the year when this came out in 2014, I believe it was. Pretty positive. Can't quite remember. Either way, it doesn't matter. And it does come with, forgot to show the inserts, so we got, you know, a picture of the band and, you know, all the lyrics. Kind of hard to see. It's more, that's really cool artwork. That's an awesome header right there. Really freaking cool. That would look awesome as a back tattoo right there. Right across your shoulders. I'll have to start saving some pennies. Anyways, moving on. We have got another death metal band here, and this would be another American band. And I guess I would classify this as like the, you know, traditional American death metal. Pretty much. Pure and simple. There's, yeah, no two ways about it. Except they've got their own sound and they've got their own added extra flavor to it. And the band would be Scorched. Check out that cover. So initially the cover was what drew me in, because I came across that and it was put out on 20 Buck Spin. See down there, another one of 20 Buck Spin's fantastic releases. Got all the guys there on the back. And this is called Ecliptic Butchery. So this came out in 2018. And like I said, fantastic. It's got this kind of traditional, not really old school, but just traditional American death metal sound to it. Really guttural vocals and chuggy riffs. But they add this, they've almost got like sci-fi influence into it. And I guess you could kind of see that with the cover. You know, you got some alien stuff going on here and whatever. But yeah, they got like sci-fi sounds, like synthesizer, keyboard stuff going on in the background, giving some like eerie sounds. And then they come out with these sludgy, nasty riffs. Go into like blast beats, and then all of a sudden they do these breakdowns, which they kind of give it like a stoner doom feel, like a sludge metal type, just stomping, really heavy as hell. Fantastic production on this. For the sound is just incredible. Oop, gonna knock stuff over here. So here we got another picture of the band, looking all badass. And we got, you know, your lyrics on the back, another picture down there. And I am not sure, I believe it's just, yeah, alright. Just, you know, your traditional black vinyl. With poly inserts, everybody should be doing this. So, yeah, like, I mean, I don't know what else to say. You got freaking killer songs like Blood Splatter Eclipse, Disfiguring Operations, Astral Savior, Bodies Collect, Mortuary of Nightmares. I mean, what else could you possibly need? But yeah, so I don't know what else. No, I really got nothing much else to say. I came across this thing Of course, I came across it too late, was what happened. I was on 20 Buck Spin's site, and I had heard somebody talking about this particular album, this band, and of course I go searching for it, and sure as hell it's sold out. And just by chance, I happened to be on Amazon, and lo and behold, this popped up in the death metal section. And it was like for a fantastic price, like on sale for like 20 bucks. And, you know, 20 bucks Canadian, so that's right there, that's a deal. So yeah, as I just jumped on it. All I did was I heard from what people told me it sounded like, and then I saw the cover and I went, yeah, okay, I'll take that. And sure as shit, this is like fantastic, right up my alley. So everybody watching that's into death metal, if you don't have it, you'll definitely like this, 100%. And last but not least, this because I was talking on the recent video about my newfound love again for 6 Feet Under. I got the newest release, and still to this day, I absolutely love it. It is the best album that I've had come out in a while. Honestly, absolutely the best. As much as it got crapped on from a couple other people reviewing it and some fans, Chris Barnes' vocals is gone. You know what? His vocals on that album, to me, it's like, nobody sounds like that. Yeah, they're like wrecked, completely wrecked, but it actually gives a cool sound to it because they're wrecked. So it just gives it a more nastier vibe to it. And they got freaking groove, man. Absolute groove. So I had to go out and pick up this one. I had been searching for it for a while and finally got one at a decent price. Not too over the top. And yeah, this, I'd have to say, is probably my... this will be my second favorite 6 Feet Under album. It actually used to be my first. I did have it on CD, but of course I need to have it on vinyl. And then when I heard the newest album, it was like, at first it's so bad, it became so good. So that became my top choice. But the only other one that I have to get now would be Haunted. And I've been searching for that, something fierce. I just don't want to pay an arm and a leg. And I'm hoping maybe they'll just do a repress soon. Hopefully, we'll see. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I just had to pick it up. So really not much to show. Everybody knows this band and this album. Came out in '99. And it's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And it was No Warning Shot that I actually have. I've got it on, if anybody ever remembers Brave Words Bloody Knuckles, the fanzine that was out of Toronto, Ontario. So they came out with a nice gloss magazine, fantastic magazine. It was like loaded. It was like the Canadian version of like Kerrang or whatever. Always loaded with fantastic stuff. And what they used to do was come out with a compilation CD, and it would be stuck in with the magazine, and I used to collect them. I got a whole stack somewhere. Well, actually, here's, it's not the one with the 6 Feet Under on it, but this is one of them. I just stuck in a slipcase, so if you remember seeing this logo here, Brave Words Bloody Knuckles, and they just come out with a compilation, and it would be, it's the thing from the 90s, bringing out compilations so that you can hear new bands. And I just ate this stuff up. I love these things, and I've had them for years, since the 90s, and I'm never going to get rid of them. These things are fantastic, got great stuff, and I actually got to start going back into some of these and listening to them. But anyways, that's where I heard that track from 6 Feet Under, and I was hooked on that album when it came out. I was like, oh yeah, frickin' I need that. But anyways, oh, I think I forgot one little thing here. Oh, I can't forget this. This is going to go in with my pick display of bands that I've managed to collect some picks. That would be Consecration's pick. Purity Through Pain. Really cool stuff. So like all that type of stuff that came in that Consecration package, like I'm a collection whore with stuff like that. So I'll have it all on a display. I got a shelf back there. I'm gonna try to rearrange. I got crap everywhere now. I literally moved up all my stuff into this room, and it's a bloody mess. I just have to try and now piece where stuff's going and whatever. It's gonna take time. And this is what I've been doing for the past while. But anyways, I've taken up a whole ton of time here. We're already getting past 30 minutes. So I really appreciate, I've got a couple new subscribers, so I really appreciate these guys that have just joined. And yeah, all the good comments. I'm absolutely loving this community. Getting to talk with other people, doing videos and stuff, and just learning about, bands I've never heard of, or even being able, to provide people with like bands that I know about that they don't know about, which is absolutely fantastic. So I'm loving every single minute of this, and I really appreciate everybody, their kind words that you're saying. So I'm gonna keep it up. I'm gonna try not to do another 2-3 week stint in between videos. So hopefully I'm kind of set here, and yeah, I'll bring some more new stuff. either new or just grab some stuff off the shelf and just show you guys. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.